I honestly think that Gen V is one of the best written live action superhero shows in like the last 5 years. You can debate me in the comments down below. Please let me know. If I'm wrong, let me know. I want to know. Live action, not animated, because that's invincible. But it is weird how Amazon Prime is making such, like, it's Amazon Prime that has such bangers of shows, and like they're cooking over there. They're cooking, and it's amazing. Let's talk about Gen V. So season 1 of Gen V just ended. Man, what a ride. This show is a lot. It's a lot of things. And one thing it isn't is bad. It's not bad. It's really good. It's actually like I said, one of the best. One of the best written. It's actually like insanely good. It's insane how good it is. You can tell they put just as much effort into this show as they did The Boys, and it's obvious. They didn't hold back. They didn't try to like if the show didn't feel like they tried to like pander to like The Boys fans, you know what I mean? They just like, this is a different show, but it's in the same universe, right? Also, I don't know why I have my headphones on, but fuck it, I guess. The last video, my FNAF video, I totally forgot to wear my security breach jacket, so I'm wearing it today. All right, so yeah, so just let y'all know, if you came back, if you seen the FNAF video, go watch it. I'll link to it at the end of the video, okay? If you like FNAF, that is. So Gen V is a show about college students who have abilities and powers, and they're, well, going through the perils of going to college. And then they figure out that something sinister is happening at said college, all right? Obviously, I'm going to be talking about spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled, go ahead and just watch the show, come back to this video if you want to. It's up to you, all right? Also, yes, I'm continuing with the layout of the video now. So green screen, do your thing, all right? Okay, stop with the fucking. I have notes now. I have notes. I'm gonna try to keep notes. I'm gonna try to keep as much notes as possible. But sometimes I just want to talk about the show or the movie. I like the power system. Obviously, the compound V is the thing that all the parents, not all the parents, but a lot of parents chose to get to inject into their kids, right? When they're babies, so they can have powers, so they can maybe eventually, bring the family money and stuff like that, right? And I love how everybody agrees when they found out about Compound V. Like, everybody just, all the college students, like, just collectively agree that their parents are piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like, they just collectively all agree on that. Like, our parents were shit. We're pieces of shit for doing this to us. You know what I mean? They didn't have to do this. All did it for a quick buck. They did it for some money. That's the sad reality that they have to live in. And I find that very interesting, how it's kind of like, to an extent, I understand what the parents thought they were doing. However, you gotta now like deal with the consequences of your kid may have an ability that may or may not get you killed, right? What if your kid is mentally insane? Well, we have an answer to that in the show. That's what I like about this show too. It's literally like an insane asylum for superhero, or not for soups, right? Below the school. And it's like, it's a cool concept because it talks about the idea that I've had this thought before, especially when it comes to mutants, like in X-Men and stuff. I was like, so what happens to the kids who have mutant powers, but they're like clinically insane? They're clinically, like, they have some type of clinical mental disability. What happens to them? You know what I mean? Because it's already bad enough that they have a mental disability. Like, Legion, for example, is a good example. Legion is clinically insane. I forgot what he had. I think schizophrenia or whatever. I can't remember. But he's clinically insane. He's in a mental hospital for a reason, right? Also, if you haven't seen the show Legion on FX, watch it. It's actually like one of the best like Marvel shows that doesn't get talked about, and it's like, it sucks because the show is actually good. However, aside from that, the idea that there are going to be superpowered people who are going to be just like regular people. There's regular people who are mentally insane, and there's regular people who aren't mentally insane. So of course, when you give a huge population powers, some of that population is going to have mental disabilities on top of having mental or having powers, right? So it's like, man, and humanity is already like the human brain is already complicated enough, and it's just like, man, I feel bad for Sam. I feel bad for all those college students, and not even college students. Some are just grown adults who've been there for like decades. It's fucked up, you know. But yeah, that's one aspect that I really enjoyed. Another aspect was the whole Shetty. I think her name was Shetty, the dean of the school. She has this whole thing about, she doesn't like soups. This is why, which is why she's working at this place, because she doesn't like soups and she wants to get rid of them. Obviously, because Homelander, destroyed that plane, right? And it's interesting because I love how the show goes off of what happened in The Boys, but it doesn't feel like they're trying to ham it up and be like, they're not like the FNAF movie, where the FNAF movie was kind of like, oh, you see this reference, cool reference here, reference there. The show was Gen V basically was kind of like the reference that they made has consequence. The things that happen in The Boys have consequences, right? And this is part of that consequence of the kids knowing that they are science experiments, right? And Shetty, being the dean, one of the consequences of Homelander's decisions was that her family was on that plane, and because her family was on that plane, she now hates soups, and now she wants to kill them all, right? And it's like such an interesting, like, I love the way they're writing this show. I love the way they're writing the universe. Like, they're writing how these characters interact, the consequences of everybody's actions, all this stuff, right? It's great. It's great, honestly. That's why I say it's one of the best written, because it's just everything plays into each other. There's nothing really that goes unnoticed or untalked about. Everything is specific and on purpose. All right, so let's talk about the characters. Marie. So Marie, obviously the MC, the main character, she is an interesting character to watch. I do feel like, for me anyway, she's still a great character. I just feel like compared to the rest of the group, her backstory and her whole motivation for doing it is a little flat for me personally. A little flat. It's a little generic, right? She just like, I just want to be a hero, this and that, and it feels a little too like, what's the reason? Why does she want to be a hero so much? You know what I mean? Like, and I get the whole sister thing. I find the sister thing very interesting, but I don't think it didn't get played up enough in this season. Maybe in season 2, if they make a season 2, they might like go into that. But like the sister thing was that every time somebody needed her to do something, they just brought out the sister card that was like, but your sister though, and she was like, fine. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it was a little too easy to get her to do what you wanted her to do, just because they brought out the sister card. Obviously, towards the end, she was like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of it. I don't care. That's fine. I just feel like it was a little too easy in the earlier stages, but she was traumatized. I get it. Yeah. So basically, compared to the other characters, other main characters, I feel like she is one of the least interesting, because she doesn't have anything actively going on with her while she's at the school. That's an issue. Besides her sister, that's not a personal thing, right? It is a personal thing, but it's like, for me, it feels like her whole, like, it's not like, basically, okay, another example, Emma, for example. Emma's whole issue is her literally, she's insecure, right? Which is, reasonable for somebody her age, right? And also, she has her power is literally one of the most, like, besides Marie's blood ability, where she has to cut herself if she wants to use blood. She doesn't have to cut herself because she can control other people's blood too, but like in the beginning she had to cut herself, which was, same in the same vein, which is why I like Marie and Emma's relationship, because Marie and Emma, they both have to self-harm to use their powers, right, and it was one of those things where I find it interesting that Emma Emma's ability is so interesting to me, because she's like a really fucked up version of Ant-Man, pretty much, where like she has to literally she has to empty out her stomach, which means she has to force herself to throw up, which is bad already on her, because if you've gotten sick and thrown up before, you know how bad it is, right? When you throw up, because all that acid is coming up, and like her neck, her esophagus, all this has to be completely just gone. Like it must be just horrible. Like it's got to be bad, right? Because she has to do that for her power every time. It's like, what the you know what I mean? For her to get big, she has to eat, which is reasonable, of course. She loses the food, and now she has to eat the nutrients back and all that stuff, right? It's just, man, it's just it's a sad one to have, you know? It's a sad ability to have. Like if it was me, I would barely use that ability, like barely. You would have to damn near force me to use my ability. If that's the ability that I was born with, fuck that, bro. I don't think I want to use it. Like I don't think I would want to use it, to be honest. Like I'd rather cut myself and use Marie's blood ability than use that throw up, get smaller, eat food, get bigger. No, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Emma seems like she seems like the emotional punching bag of this whole show. She keeps getting shit on like all the time. I feel so bad for her. I feel so bad for Emma. But man, dude, she a baddie though. I'm not gonna lie. Uh, so Luke is a very interesting character, because Luke's presence throughout the show never ceased. It never ended. Like Luke is all like, I love how Luke's presence has been felt throughout all of the whole season. Like it has not like all this happened because Luke, boom, like because Luke did what he had to do, or he made a decision. He made a decision, and that decision has consequences. And here we are. You know what I mean? I love that. Honestly, I love that. Not the fact that he offed himself, but the fact that the show and the writing has made it clear that everything that anybody does has a consequence, just like real life, right? There's consequences to these things happening, and that it's just interesting to watch, man. It's like interesting to watch how everybody reacts to Luke's passing, and to the stuff that Luke found out about the woods is what the insane asylum is called. And it's just, man, it's very interesting. Oh, let's talk about Kate. Okay, so Kate, Luke's girlfriend. Kate is interesting, and because Kate is interesting because Kate, she has one of the most OP abilities in the show. She can literally make somebody do whatever she wants them to do if she touches them, of course. Even that, I don't even know if she can. I don't even know if it's just touch, because like honestly, like there was like a scene. It was like the whole scene with Soldier Boy and stuff, where she obviously she looked up to Soldier Boy, and Soldier Boy is in her head and stuff like that. And I think she just made everybody go to sleep. Like she just, a big burst of just psychic energy just made everybody. I find that interesting, but they didn't really bring it up anymore in the rest of the show. So we'll see what happens with that. But Kate as a character, where she can get manipulated pretty easily if they know what they're doing. Like Shetty manipulated her pretty easily, but she's also very sensitive, which makes sense considering her ability. But she's very sensitive and very like, she's pretty over the top sometimes, because the main thing is like, at one side she was on Shetty's side for most of the show, and then she found out the fucked up things that Shetty was doing, and then she completely just went the whole opposite side and took that shit way too far. I'm like, Kate, this is unnecessary. What the fuck? You just like going around just killing non-soups is just. I didn't think that she was gonna do that. Like, yo, okay, well, here we are, I guess. Kate is she's an interesting character, very interesting. Reminds me of Jean Grey, in the X-Men. Shetty's influence on her is is subtle. Shetty's influence is so subtle because for some reason, like obviously Shetty wanted to kill all the Soups, right? So Shetty basically like making Kate believe what Shetty believes over the years has like, oh no, I don't know about over the years. Has it been? Was it over the years? Over. It's been a long time. They've been together for a while, right? It's one of those things where like Shetty's ideology was taken up by Kate, but Kate not liking Shetty anymore, she still has that mentality of just kill them all. So it kind of like just twisted into doing the opposite and just let's just kill all humans, right? And I don't think she didn't even realize that that's Shetty's influence on her, right? Because Shetty was so obviously distraught by her family dying. It's just there's just so much complexity in these, and it's just like to be able to notice that for me was like, wow, that's actually like legit. You know, like oh my god, like Shetty got what she wanted, but not in the way that she thought she would get it. You know what I mean? Like it's interesting. It's interesting. It's like Shetty's plan backfired. It's like a cycle of revenge and hatred, right? It's like, for example, Homelander doesn't care about human lives like that. So he killed some human beings. So now there's some humans who decide, oh wow, so that's how it's going to be. So I'm gonna kill all Soups, right? And then the Soups are being treated like shit. So now the humans, or now the Soups are mad that they're being treated like shit. So now they're going, shit on humans. It's a cycle of hatred and revenge, and it's like that's why I like Marie too, because Marie isn't trying to like she doesn't want this, right? Like, and I think most of them don't want this. They don't want like just a complete like ignorant like, oh, you did an eye for an eye, basically. Like the eye for an eye makes the world go blind, right? And the problem is like we can't keep going back and forth. Can't have a human versus Soups thing, because at the end of the day, the Soups are going to win, obviously, because they're Soups, right? Unless they create that that airborne virus thing, the end of this, and man, the end of the finale was crazy. This finale was insane because they had like a lot of people. There's like 3 people from the boys here. There was the CEO, the redhead chick. I always like seeing her. I keep forgetting what her name is. The redhead chick, the CEO. She not the CEO, but like, is she the CEO? I can't remember. Basically, the redheaded chick, she in normal situations, to me, she would be annoying because how like the way she talks, like I think the goal was to make her annoying, but the way that she portrays that character makes it funny. Like she's actually funny with the character. Like usually it would be annoying for somebody like that to have that type of dialogue, but she's actually funny. She's actually like the way she delivers the lines is just hilarious to me. I love it. I think it's great. She does this role perfectly, and I think she needs to continue to do this role, obviously. And then you had Homelander in here. Homelander was in here for like 2 seconds, but it felt like the world stood still when he when he flew on campus, when he just flew by and then just completely just landed on campus. Everybody stopped. I literally stopped. I literally sat there and looked. I was like, what's he gonna do? You know what I mean? Like I was curious, like what is Homelander gonna do? Like I'm concerned, but also excited to see what happens, And then he just lasered Marie, and that was that, And Marie got some durability because she literally she tanked that shit. She tanked it, bro. She didn't. I thought she was gonna like die. You know what I mean? Because apparently Homelander's lasers aren't that strong, right? They weren't strong enough to kill Marie. I can see, because it's funny because I can see if like Jordan. I haven't talked about Jordan yet. I'll talk about Jordan later. Hold on. So like I can see if Homelander like did that to Jordan and Jordan survived, because Jordan has like that force field ability and stuff, and they're pretty fucking tanky. Like Jordan's pretty, they can take some hits, But like Marie, I'm curious as to why Marie is so strong. Maybe it's because her blood of her blood abilities. It could also be plot armor too, but like it could be because of her blood abilities. Maybe she's just stronger than normal. Maybe I don't know. But yeah, I find that interesting. Homelander just, he immediately fixed the issue, quote unquote fixed. But the fucked up thing about it is that Kate and Sam are seen as the heroes here, which they obviously, to us, seeing the show, watching the show, they weren't. In this world, soups are made to look the best. They want the soups to be happy for the most part. Besides, Stan Edgar, he doesn't give a shit. It's one of those things. It's just interesting that they decided to make Kate and Sam the heroes here, right? Like, quote unquote, like they kind of they put them on a pedestal, and the other people, I mean, I know why, because of the woods. They kind of exposed the woods and all that stuff. It was Kate that did that. So I'm curious as to how Kate got off scot-free for this and Marie and them got in trouble, right? Maybe Kate like brainwashed Homelander or something. I can definitely see that. I can see Kate just brainwashing everybody and then just be like, "Yep, she's the queen. She did it. She did it, guys." I can see that. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Kate somehow brainwashed Homelander, right? Ooh, that would be so interesting to see. Like, can she do that? Like, I'm pretty sure that's why I say she has the most OP ability, because it doesn't seem like it doesn't matter how strong you are. It's a mental thing. Unless you have a mental ability yourself, then I don't think you can really fight against Kate like that. I don't know. It's interesting. So yeah, I'm hoping that the boys, Butcher and them, are going to team up with Marie and the gang to stop Kate and Sam and Homelander and them. Like, I feel like that's probably what's going to happen. They're going to be the Marie and them are going to be trapped in that thing towards the end. They're going to be trapped in there until the boys get them out. But man, this is going to be an interesting season 4 for the boys. Let's talk about Jordan. So the Jordan in this character, at first I was kind of like, oh boy, how are they going to write basically a trans character in this story? And when I say that this is what I'm looking for when it comes to writing like these type of characters, this is what I'm talking about. This show is exactly what I'm talking. This is what I consider good writing for those type, for like, and also like the relationship between the relationship between Marie and Jordan, right? It's a very interesting relationship, and it's the only relationship that's kind of like, I don't think there's another. Is there a gay couple? No, I don't think so. I don't think there's a lesbian couple either. But obviously besides Marie and Jordan, they're the only couple. Like, I feel like I'm glad that they didn't, like, it didn't feel like they were putting in LGBT characters just for, like, I mean, they didn't put it in there as like brownie points, basically. This relationship was very specific. This relationship was very important to the story of both those characters, right? And I really enjoy that. That I like that Marie, like, is subtle, because kind of like they're also talking about transgenderism without actually making it obvious, right? That's what I call good writing, because they're actually like, they're talking about it without actually talking about it, right? Because they're not using buzzwords. They're not doing nothing like that, right? They call Jordan they, right? Simple, right? Obviously, it's not that easy, right? For me, like, I always try to, like, when I think about Jordan, it's either he or she, right? But I have to correct myself. It's they, because it's literally two people. Not two people. It's literally like both genders. They literally are both genders. It's not even their, like, that's just their ability, right? So I find that very interesting. And there was like a line that was kind of like they didn't really like talk about it too much, but there was a line when Jordan and Emma, not Emma, when Jordan and Marie were arguing. Marie, one of the things she said, she was like, "You don't have to turn into the guy when you're trying to get a point across, right?" And I absolutely love that line. One of the reasons I love that line is because it basically like calls the attention to Jordan as a character. That like what I love about Jordan is that Jordan is a character first. Their gender and all that stuff that comes second. Their character is their character, right? And that's what I love about it. It doesn't even matter what gender or sex they are. It's the character that's important. That is fucking amazing art. This is what you call writing, people. Character writing. All right. The boys and Gen V, especially Gen V, this should be a masterclass on how to write good characters on at the surface level. There it's character. And then on top of that, you add the gender or the sex, okay, or whatever the fuck they are outside of that, right? But on their core should be their character. And this show nails that. Like, beautiful. It's beautiful. Jordan is one of the best characters, one of the best written, definitely, because like Jordan has a backstory that makes sense for their character, right? Their ability is not something they can control, but obviously their family is like traditionalists, so they're kind of like they don't know how to react to that, right? But it's kind of like I love how the dad is kind of getting it's just karma for the dad, right? This is complete karma for the dad because the dad they did this so they can get money, right? That's what all the parents did, where they can get money and they can potentially have more money in the future and have a child that is loved and all that stuff and popular, all that stuff. So like the parents did this for their own personal gain. Or at least the dad did. The mom was pretty chill about it, but the dad got a kid whose ability is literally to change genders whenever they feel like it. It's like karma. It's like he got this karma. There's karma for it, right? I think every parent has gotten karma in some way, shape, or form in this show. It's actually very interesting because but it's all to differing levels of degrees. Like obviously, Marie's parents literally died. I don't think that was fair, but at the same time, it's the price you pay for injecting your kid with compound V, not knowing what kind of ability that they may have. Like, and I'm pretty sure this happens all the time, where like there's like kids who were injected with compound V as babies, and then they have an ability that literally kills their whole family. You know what I mean? Like it's not even their fault. It's just because they're teenagers and their body is trying to adjust to their abilities. It's just, whew, man. This is what I want X-Men to do. Like this type of stuff was what I want X-Men to do, and what I want X-Men from Marvel. That's what I want Marvel to do. This is the shit. This like Gen V is doing what the X-Men franchise needs to do, and I don't know if they have the balls to do it. To be honest. Who else didn't I? Oh, Andre. So Andre is cool. I like Andre's really. I like Andre and his relationship with his dad, relationship with Emma, Luke. I like his relationship with the whole cast. It's interesting because Andre is kind of like he's trying to figure it out more than the rest, right? Because for the most part, everybody else has a pretty good like grasp on what they should do morally. Besides besides Kate, right? Kate is she's Kate. But and which is why I think it's interesting that her and Andre work so well together because they're both like hectic, right? That's why like he said it too. He was like when we're apart from each other, shit happens and shit bad things happen. So when we're together though, we're able to deal with the shit together as a team, right? It's tragic, you know, because his dad obviously just let this shit happen, and he's conflicted about that. And his dad, you know, his dad is teaching him one thing, but his dad's doing the opposite thing, and his dad's a hero on top of that. And also his dad is in the hospital now because fucking he got a brain aneurysm or he got a seizure and shit. So like it's kind of like also that whole thing to where like you can see that this type of ability has serious like consequences, right? So like it is interesting to see how Andre is going to go forward because he can't just use his abilities willy-nilly anymore. You know what I mean? Like because it's going to cause like tears in his brain. It's going to fuck with his brain. All right? He's going to lose brain matter. And like that's crazy, dude. Like he can't use his ability as much as he like unless his DNA is different, unless his DNA is or his brain and his body is now able to deal with it because he's the son of him. So you would think that the DNA would be able to. It's kind of like the what's it called? Like it will be mutated enough to be able to deal with the ability now, right? But we don't know. We don't know. I don't know if that's like it's interesting to see like how does genetics work in this universe? Because is it the same way? Because it doesn't seem like Andre has any other abilities. Like it just seems like his ability is straight from polarity. But does the mom have powers or does like what's going on here? You know? Like how did he not get a mixture of powers from his mom and his dad, or did he just get straight from his dad and that's it, right? It's interesting. I think it's very interesting to have those questions, right? I would like those questions answered, but we'll see. This show, man, this show is not for the faint of heart. If you don't like saying dick, then yeah, you probably shouldn't watch the show. But because there's like two scenes in the whole show where like it's just dick, right? It's just it's straight up dick on the screen. It's crazy. I'm bisexual myself, so I was okay with seeing it. I just feel like there needs to be a balance here. Okay, it's too much dick. There's too much dick and not enough titty. Okay. What the fuck am I talking about? Oh my god, this sounds horrible. Okay, but yeah, overall this show is great. Oh yeah, so like the lady that was running for president, I forgot her name, but I totally forgot that she's a soup. I totally forgot that she's a soup because in the boys, I don't know, it happened so quick that I just didn't really even register that she has an ability herself. I completely forgot. And then in this show, like they literally in this show they literally just deep dive into the the councilwoman, and it's like wow, she has the same ability as Marie, which makes me question like is there a finite amount of abilities that soups have, or like what, like how does the genetics work for these powers? Like does compound V only have a certain amount of powers? Why does the congress or the councilwoman have the same abilities as Marie? Like I just find that like what does that, you know what I mean? Like what does that mean? Like does that mean anything? Like is that important in any way, shape, or form? Or is that just maybe, or is it rare? Like I don't know. I just find it interesting. Like I don't know what that means exactly because obviously polarity, his son Andre has the same ability as him, but like it doesn't seem like, I don't know, it's weird, right? I don't know what the science is behind it, but I find that part interesting in trying to figure out the science behind it of why does the councilwoman also have the same ability as Marie, right? And the councilwoman said it was rare, and it's like okay, I mean I can see that a blood related ability being rare makes sense, but like why does she have it, right? Does she have a connection to Marie in some way, shape, or form? Is she related to her? I don't know. Like I don't know. It may, I don't know. It's a question that needs to be answered. Hopefully they'll answer it in season 4 of the boys. No, okay, so so the congresswoman is still alive. She's just like Marie, and it's ironic that she in the show that she mentioned like otherwise they'll take my head off. Ironic you say that, considering that she's the one that took off. She killed a lot of people by popping their heads like fucking balloons. It's insane. That means that Marie can do that too. Obviously, Marie wouldn't want to do that because you know that's kind of fucked up. But at the same time, you know, it's just interesting. It's interesting. It's just an interesting thought process that I have. Yeah, I think that's about it for Gen V. I really enjoyed this show. I'm really excited for season 4 of The Boys. I think it's season 4. If you guys have any opinions or anything you want to talk to me about, let me know how you feel about Gen V in the comments down below. This obviously is a longer video. I gotta make these longer videos now, so I think they're fine to make. I feel like I can't get out the video. I can't get out the video in a timely manner because I have to edit the video. It's going to take a couple days unless I crunch, which I don't really need to because this is coming out next week. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Next video, I'm talking about Kang the Conqueror. Okay, so get ready for that. All right. I'll see you guys there. Peace.